So my Sailor Moon cosplay needs an upgrade. Last summer, I went into a Sailor Moon stupor, the likes of which I have not seen since I had acne and algebra homework. My summer usually culminates in Dragon Con, and by the time I knew I wanted to cosplay Princess Serenity, I had about 3 weeks left before the big convention. So I dusted off my sewing skills that I hadn't used since before the pandemic. Oops. And I made this costume. For those of you that know what it's like to cosplay Sailor Moon, you know that the absolute worst part of any Sailor Moon or Princess Serenity cosplay is the wig. And my first wig, RIP, I got from Amazon for $25. And after the first day of the convention, it was destroyed. But why are you doing this to me? Okay. But it was Dragon Con, and there was an Art of Wigs booth in the dealer's hall, so I went and I bought an entirely new wig. And after that, it was an even better cosplay experience. I had a blast. Now, the original costume was not a full dress that I made. What I did was I ordered a white tube top and a flowy, sort of slinky white skirt from Amazon, and then I made a corset. This is the corset for something that I made in 4 days. It's not bad. I bought it off of Etsy, and I made a very, very fast, very unusable mock-up. I don't know, 30 minutes. I think I pinned it together instead of sewing it. Then I put this together. It's got some trim that is glued on there, which I'm not a big fan of. Basically, it's a layer of linen, a layer of sequin lace over the top of it. It's got it's finished in, and all the boning channels on the bottom are covered in this like gold lame bias tape from Joann's. And then it's got boning channels that you can't like actually see in the sides and up top, and those are like in the back. Let's see. It's also got this like pearl trim, which is partially sewn and partially glued on. You can kind of see it there. No, I'm holding it down here. You can't see it. So all in all, yeah, and it was also my first experience using grommets. So all in all, I'm pretty proud of it, especially since it was the first corset I've ever made. However, it is not perfect, and there are some improvements that could be made on it. I kind of want to go over with you guys improvements I want to make. Right away, this is the first thing that was wrong with it. Like, every time I've ever tried to make something that's set up here, I always had to make adjustments on the boobs. I haven't figured out how to properly make something fit the first time. So it's like, I don't know if you can see that. There's a bunch of safety pins on the back, because every good cosplayer always carries a bunch of safety pins. The other big mistake is, first of all, you can see this is not... Okay, so it's harder to see here, but if you turn it over on the back, it's easier to see this is not very straight. And also, I don't know if it's on this side or on the other side. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, it's right there. Ooh. It's kind of difficult to see. I did not reinforce this part at all, and so the grommets are kind of just escaping. Oh, there, it just came out. And that's fine, because I'm probably not going to wear this again, even if it is quite pretty. That's the two things I'm going to fix that are just obvious, but I also want to show you, I'm gonna draw it for you, because that's how I plan these things. Okay, here are the references that we are working with. I am using the 90s anime because I'm a 90s kid, although I am going to probably still slightly a little detail from Crystal's Princess Serenity dress, because it's got these doohickeys on it, and I'm not going to do that exactly, but I'm put something gold there. So the first thing I want to do is make the corset out of a different material. Let's update number 1. We're going to use micro suede. Already actually got the micro suede. I bought it a couple days ago. It arrived yesterday. It's beautiful. It came from Sci Fabrics. I'll put the website in the description, and also the video where I got the idea from, because half of these things are going to be things I learned from Sarah Spaceman's channel. So you'll find that in the description below. So we're going to make it out of micro suede. The micro suede's like sturdier. It's not as breathable. The original is made out of linen, which was very nice and cool in the Atlanta August heat, but I do want a little bit more structure to it, and it's a very pretty micro suede, so I will not have to do that lace lining on the top. I don't know what I'm going to line it with. I haven't figured that out yet, but the next upgrade, then we're going to add a waist tape to to make it a little sturdier. A waist tape, if you don't know, is just like a piece of twill tape that you put along the inside that kind of makes the corset a little sturdier. That's all to kind of add to the structural integrity of this thing and to make it a little bit less flimsy, because that was the biggest problem with this. The next update I would like to make, I used cable ties from Target to bone this thing. I would actually like to do some steel boning. And I think that will actually give it a little bit more structure. With these three things, I think it will be a much better structured garment. Originally, this sort of interpretation of the dress was like, sort of like, this was the corset part. Actually, I think it was like a little bit higher than that. So it was like that part, and that little part was the dip. I would, despite the fact that this is sort of an empire waisted garment, I would like to bring it down a little bit. It'll still maintain the look of an empire waisted garment. So I'm just gonna put longer here. But I would like to it'll maintain the look of a empire waisted garment, because I'm gonna keep this little ornamentation here. But I would like it to be just a little bit longer to kind of create a flatter look right there. I felt like I looked a little pregnant when I turned to the side a couple times. It was a little distressing. Now, all of those changes are structural changes. I would like to make all of those structural changes. However, there are a couple of visual changes I would like to make as well. Now, if you look at this, all of the notions on this, all the little extras, from the bias tape to this trim to this trim, were all things that I found at Joann's. And fam, I gotta tell you something. I'm happy with this, but I hate sequins, and this gold lame looks super cheap. It's cute, and you know, it was fun to put on. It was a little slippy, but you know, that's sort of the nature of lame. But I would like to, first of all, find a different bias tape to finish this. I kind of like having the pearls there, so I don't know. I might not use the exact same, but I might still do pearls right here. But the biggest change I want to make is I want to do beading up here. I have seen several versions of this cosplay where they have taken the circle bits at the top and done it out in the phases of the moon, which looks gorgeous. So basically, instead of those gold sequin loops that I have at the top, I'd like to do sort of, I'd like to do like a band of beading, but it's like this. And it's got all of the phases of the moon in the little circles. This is also where I talked about like stealing something from Crystal. And you know, Crystal has got those little gold bits that are sort of the inspiration for the gold lines on the first one. And I'd kind of like to do some sort of like gold beading, sort of dripping down in like sort of a, not a straight line, but sort of like dripping down in sort of a V from there down the corset. Hopefully that makes sense. I've never done embroidery beading before, so this is going to be fun. I did buy the stuff today to sort of test it out. I bought beads at Joann's. I will probably not buy beads at Joann's again because it was way too expensive. I needed something to test it out, and I needed to do it immediately or I would die, because that's how ADHD works. My plans for the corset, but I do have a couple of other upgrades. Heading back to our resource photos. Reference photos, not resource photos, it's reference photos. So there's two other dress upgrades I want to make. The first thing is I want to make this bow, I want to make it better and out of better fabric. I made it out of really cheap organza last time, and I have some much nicer organza with like sort of a pink holographic tinge to it. I'm going to be first making it with some broadcloth, and then I'm going to make it for reals. The last bow on the last dress was just kind of sad. I made it out of incredibly cheap organza the night before the convention, and it was just kind of pinned onto me at any given time and slowly disintegrated as the con progressed. The last sort of upgrade I would like to make is going to be about the dress. And I do say dress because last time I wore a tube top and a skirt, and I would like to make it fully a dress this time. I am going to make a white underdress with two skirts, and I want to address these things right here. What are they? Who knows? They make no sense. I think if you look very carefully, they are detached from the dress sometimes and attached to it at other times. And frankly, as a lady who already has wide shoulders, I hate them. I am probably going to be reducing that to a mildly puffed sleeved gown. I have no idea what fabric I'm going to make this out of. I might make an undergown and just use the skirt I have as the underskirt. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do about that second skirt. It just kind of comes down to my budget, which is pretty low right now because I don't have a job. Woo! I've seen a lot of different stuff for those, and I just don't like the idea of having something bulging off of my shoulder. Also, what are these? What are those? Like, I don't know, and I don't like them. I wore the costume completely without them last time, and was totally fine, and I would do that again, except for my perfectionist brain will not allow me. Some other minor updates I would like to make are the hair clips I bought. This looks like there's like some strange creature with angry eyebrows and weird teeth that I have drawn upon the screen. I had like some that I bought from an Etsy shop and they were very nice, but they fell apart by the end, and I would like to make a little better ones. I also, if I have the money before DragonCon, the way my wig works at this point in time is it is a longer wig that I have like put in pigtails and created the adangos from the hair on the base wig and then clipped the ponytails that make the long part onto it. I would like to actually buy the buns from Arta that match my wig. The last change I would like to make are shoes. I don't know exactly what shoes I want to wear with this. This costume is so last minute last time that I ended up just wearing a pair of white Fulda flats that I had. I would like to get ballet flats, and if I can, just put another one of those like on the toe of the shoe. Like that. Do you love my like incredibly artistic rendering? Is it a shoe? Is it a hot dog bun? No one knows. So that is basically all of the updates I would like to make to the Princess Serenity costume. I have the micro suede for the corset. I need to look up patterns and or corset drafting. Other than that, I don't think that there's much else that I want to update, which is good because the beading alone is going to take me a couple months if I learn to do it correctly the first time. So this is going to be an adventure. I am going to keep you guys updated. I'm going to start sort of messing with the beading tonight and see if I can make an example little applique. And if I get it correctly, then I will show you guys my beading progress in the next video. I also have a couple of other plans for some other cosplays, but right now, this is where my attention is allowing me to concentrate. So this is the one I'll be working on. Thanks guys for hanging out with me while I planned these updates to this cosplay. If you would like to see the updates as they happen, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!